Hello, guys. Welcome to the very first installment of the Summoners Roundtable podcast. My name is Sithna X05 and I'm from Sigma Legends Founders. And with me today, we've got Nick from Bandai Namco. He's the community manager over there. We've also got Chip
Hi.
and we've got Furious,
Hello.
Cam,
Hey, I'm really excited for this podcast. There's going to be a lot of stuff talking about, and also it's great to have Nick on today.
Kevs,
Yo, I'm here.
and Rasmus.
All here.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about today was first impressions. So, Nick, what is your impression of the game from a player's perspective, and what do you like about it?
I mean, officially, the game is great. Everything's amazing, and there's nothing wrong with it.
No bias at all.
None whatsoever. They're not paying my bills. Obviously, beyond the fact that this is my job, that this is also a game that I think is something I really believe in. I'm a huge fan of this genre, these sorts of RPGs. So I'm games right up my alley. And more importantly, I think that we're doing really interesting stuff with this game. It's kind of pushing the genre in new places with our mechanics like the elements and the conduit system. These are really going to make the game much more fun and interesting. And I think what we're at right now, obviously with the game, we're still in soft launch. Not everything's final. We're working on stuff, but I think we've got the skeleton of what can really be a fantastic game with a lot of legs.
I agree, and the thing that I really like about the game, and what I think gives it a lot of potential, is the kind of the massive different areas you can explore within the genre. So I'm looking forward to seeing where you can take the game. So now that we've heard from Nick, what has everyone else's impression of the game been?
I think it's great so far. Honestly, I love the conduit system, how you can switch in and out of the conduit abilities and so much strategy you can do with that. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I kind of jump on that same boat as well. I mean, if you look at the game as a whole, it's way ahead of what other games have achieved, and it's like Nick said, it's like the skeleton. So what we're playing with right now, probably what people may be listening to. I mean, it's gonna be great, especially at launch, and I think I'm really looking forward to the guild aspect. I love working as a team. I think Sigma's like the best place to have it. We're obviously ranked number one leaderboards now, but later on too. I mean, it's just going to be a great environment, and I love the grinder aspect of games because they give the free-to-play player the advantage.
What I like is the arena as a whole. The whole system is thoughtful than the other games I played. I'm really happy at the moment. We have to wait until it fills up a little bit more with competitive players, but at the moment, I'm really happy.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I'm really happy too. The two things that I really enjoy the most are in the arena system, it's more of a king of the hill type thing where, you kind of want to get on the hill and sit there as long as you can. You don't need to be like, oh crap, it's almost 6. I better get home and win my payout real quick or I get nothing. So that's super cool because I could just do it whenever I feel like it and just let it sit and get my stuff. So I really like that. And the second thing I like is being able to swap in and out one of my guys for combat, because you only run with a few out at a time. You have one guy that's on the sideline. I think that's a really cool mechanic that none of the other games I play like this have. So that's a really unique thing about this game that I enjoy.
The conduit is really, really good. Later on, we have a lot of fun with it, switching out, getting people in their first defensive team, maybe go into attack, and you can switch it on in between when you're in the game. Those two aspects are really good.
And they're just very unique things. There are a lot of games like this, but all of them have a lot of similarities. And that's one of them that none of the others have that makes it very different, I would say.
Yeah, and that really is one of my favorite parts of this game. How it's quite similar to other games of its kind. However, there are a few new things brought to the table which make it a lot more enjoyable. And we've spoken about those, but especially the conduit ability. I really like that. So, we've all been playing the game for at least a few weeks by now. What characters or teams or game modes have you guys been really enjoying?
As soon as I unlocked my boogeyman, I got my Baba Yaga. I would have been laughing and making John Wick jokes forever. I love that. I don't know. Every time I beat you guys, I make a joke about a pencil.
I love the arena, like Chip mentioned earlier. It's a lot different than other games I've ever seen before. I love the King of the Hill. I'm in progress of making a video about this game right now, and I kind of relate it to Clash of Clans and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes kind of combined. So basically, the Bronze 3, Silver 1, wherever you're at gives you higher amount of tokens that you can use to farm characters, and that's really neat. I think that was a really inspired aspect of the game, so gotta give props to the devs for creating something that's new and different and fun.
We don't know what the best team is. We're looking at the tunes. We don't know because it's soft launch. We don't know which are the best tunes. So everybody can pick what he likes, what he wants to do, because nobody knows what is the best team. Finding out everything about the game is really fun.
Right. Chip and I actually talked a few times actually about like different teams that could work well together and who would work well with who. Like Chip was talking about making a Beast team at one point and how in the future he wants to do like an Arthurian team or Magic. And there's so many ways you can go. And my favorite part is figuring out how, like, who works well with who and how everybody meshes well together.
Personally, I know it's going to sound really, really, really cheesy, but I'd say right now, one of my favorite parts of the game is the community. I think that we've got, even in such an early stage of the game, we've got such a fantastic group of people who are so passionate and diving in with both feet and reaching areas of the game that we didn't think anyone would get to yet, and giving us a lot of wonderful problems to deal with.
Aww.
I bought that was it. I know. And then you look at it. I know we you were talking about like you're in the early stages and you're grinding over the beginning, and we're mid game already. I think you said something like that before. Yeah, sorry. But it's fun.
I want to say something cheesy too, since you went that way. Something really cheesy I like about the game is there's a lot of historical knowledge and folklore type information that you can get from the game. Like even if you don't get it from the game, people like Grendel and Beowulf and things like this, they all come from old folklores and myths and things like that. So a lot of people might not know that kind of stuff, and as a result would be introduced. And I think that's really cool. And there were a lot of them in the game that I was like, who the hell is this? And I didn't know who it was at first. So I definitely looked into it and was like, oh, okay, all right.
No, absolutely. I think tangential learning was absolutely something we wanted to focus on. And I think it's really something that makes the game stand out. It's super fun, and it also just lets us have some fun with it, like how Grendel and Beowulf have advantages against each other.
Yeah, I can't wait to find a Grendel to kill.
yeah. I've got like a Gear 6 Beowulf just waiting. Like, I've been upgrading that ability. I'm like, when I see somebody with a Grendel, he's screwed.
I think Fable has a Grendel, so...
Fable, okay.
That's funny.
I have another question for you, Nick. Do you and the team plan to add anything else into the game for the early game as we approach the global launch?
Oh, absolutely. I think the early game is one of our biggest focuses right now, because one of the things that we're looking at is that once people kind of understand what the game's about, they're pretty on board with it. So it's really about kind of finding all of those rough edges right now and sanding them down so that people can get a chance to kind of understand what the game's about and kind of get to that place where they're like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing the dailies. I'm fighting my way to the top in the arena and all that. That's our big focus right now.
Something I really liked in the early game was the fact that as soon as you join in, you have the chance to get right to the top of the arena. Because you got that kind of progressive way of being promoted in an arena, so after a few days you're going to move up to the next one. It means that it's constantly a fresh flow in the lowest arena, so you're always going to be fighting people at your level, which is a really nice touch, because I know that other games like this, when it's just a big arena shard, if you may have to catch up to guys that have already spent a lot or have already played a few days. So that was, as a new player in the game, that's something I really liked.
When you first enter the shard, it is filled with these NPC characters who can just be shoved completely off the map as more people come in, so that you've got challenges, you've got these kind of minor challenges, and then you run into another player, and then what's it gonna be?
So Nick, I have a couple questions. First, so when does this game launch?
I'm gonna give you the Blizzard answer of when it's ready.
Very good.
Do you have a ballpark?
We're hoping, it's going to be a couple of months. Nothing specific, but definitely we have things we want to do and targets we want to hit, and most importantly, what we want the game to look like before we put it out in front of the entire world.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably a good
okay.
idea.
Yep.
And then second question, and like, I don't want to be, I'm not critical. I just want, I like, since I'm talking to a dev, or I guess a community manager, is there any way there could be a 4x button or 2x speed button in the near future? Just so for like some of the cantina battles, or not cantina, but campaign battles. Sometimes I don't want to get rid of my precious, rune stone or the sim little rocks. I just don't want to get rid of those. So
Memory stones, they're called. And yes, that is, I can't confirm anything, but I have already discussed that matter with the team, and they seemed pretty amenable to the idea. So
Okay.
not confirmed, but definitely something we're in the talks of.
I have another quick question for you, Nick. What are your thoughts on guilds and the communities that are arising from them? Are they being used as you expected, or are you seeing a different outcome to what you first thought?
Honestly, I think that the guilds are being used for even more than we originally intended. I think that they're, obviously, it's really fun to see the way you guys are coordinating on, and I don't just mean Sigma, I mean all the different guilds are coordinating in the arena right now, helping each other make up, clearing a path to the middle for your people, making sure you target your enemies first, things like that. It's all really exciting and fun. So yeah, I think that it's even better than we originally intended. And I think that, guilds are the community, the ground level aspect of community in a game like this. These games don't work without guilds.
They work really, really good. I see it now. We opened the second guild just 3 days ago because we had so much influx, and I was in the founders first, and then I switched guilds to Reborn to be officers there, admin. I think that's the correct term, and good guild with a little bit higher people makes it so much easier to play. I was in Sanctuary before we had any guilds, and you feel, I feel it now. I can't borrow anybody, so I have to mostly do only 2 stars. So a good guild is one of the biggest things you have to have as a new player. I like that.
I like the activities a lot, and I like the guild leaderboard aspect. One thing I not necessarily like dislike, but it is really hard to get the guild currency so far. Aside from the one a week that when the leaderboard resets, that we get the rewards for getting whatever place we finish in. It is really hard to come by guild currency, even when you do complete all the activities and stuff.
I'd like to think that'll be augmented in the future when we get raids and things like that, though. So I haven't
For
really
sure,
thought about it.
I agree. I agree. It is still just a skeleton structure of the game so far. So
Yeah, it's like giving you a piece of that currency. You're gonna get it other ways later.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be, we're definitely going to look at, the rate at which people earn the guild currency and even the activities that are required to make them. Obviously, everything that's in there right now is obviously up for discussion, that we are, if something's not working the way it should, or if it's a little too hard, or if it's, heaven forbid, giving it out way too much. That's what this soft launch program is for, kind of finding things working that may have worked on paper that aren't working in reality and make them work in reality.
what's everybody running in arena? I'm curious because I'm kind of running a arena hodgepodge of my best old buddies that got me through the campaign. I think Beowulf is my man because I've got so many shards for him.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure everybody's using Beowulf and maybe Joan of Arc.
I'm curious to hear who everyone's running in their conduit.
I'm torn between like sticking in my healer in the conduit spot, and then as soon as somebody needs healing, switch him in and healing them, or putting in somebody with a conduit ability at the start. Right now, I have Robin Hood as my conduit because he speeds up my team when he's in the conduit ability. So I have him in there to start, and then I switch him in immediately. But I'm kind of curious what everyone else does.
I'm currently running Media as my
I got the Beastie Boys, as I call them. Not all of them, because I'm waiting for Bigfoot. But I use Anak first, or Robin. They are both nature, and all the beasts are nature, or not all of them, but most.
Most of them. Yep.
And so I switch between Anak and Robin at the moment, but I have a wide roster.
I like to use my Baba Yaga or my Musashi, and one of them's like a crit multiplier, and the other one's just straight damage. So I don't know, it works.
Yeah. You can never go wrong with damage.
Yeah, if it's just damage and you're gonna get it, no chance or whatever, yeah, that's pretty solid to go with.
Yeah, I kind of went with like the whole speed at the start of the match just so I can get my guys to go first. That's what I've been doing so far, and then I just switch in Robin Hood immediately. Joan is usually my fastest, and so she goes first, and then I just switch in Robin Hood, and I can usually, since most of my guys end up going first because of Robin Hood's Conduit, I can get a kill off before anybody else on the other team goes, and from there it just kind of goes downhill quickly.
Do you use this turn meter removal move at all, or you just blast somebody when you come out?
Not on the first turn. On the first turn, I just blast somebody with a special. It usually does about 5-6k damage, so they're pretty crippled. And then from there, I can wipe out somebody in one shot. And I know the turn meter removal is a great idea to use at the start, and maybe later down the road that might be what I do. But for now, getting somebody off before they can even get a turn is great, regardless of who it is.
I totally agree. I was just thinking Robin Hood might be the one guy I didn't do that with because I love that ability. But yeah, I think that's like the general strategy. If you could drop somebody off the board, they can't switch in and out as effectively, and that's always going to give you a big advantage. So that's
right, and especially because right now
he is half value win right now.
Right now he is my heaviest hitter, so that's kind of what I've been doing so far. And then on my second turn, I use the turn meter removal.
How good is your Robin at the moment?
He is gear 7, halfway to gear 8, and all of his abilities are maxed so far.
Killing it, bro. Nice.
Yeah, I pretty much just went all in on Robin Hood, just because I feel like he is somebody I want to use in the future. Don't really want to spread myself too thin at the moment, so I did just kind of all in on Robin Hood, and now I'm just going to go all in on somebody else.
That's totally, I think, the best thing when playing and listening is to pick somebody that you're like, man, I really like this guy. I'm able to get his shards as well. I think that's important. I don't know if you're able to get Robin Hood shards, but
he has a hard node. Yeah.
Okay. You need to pick somebody that you're able to farm them too. So yeah, and then just put all your chips on them and ride them out and spread it evenly among the other guys.
How do you guys feel about hard node farming? Because it seems that they've set it up in a way that there aren't many nodes for each character.
Oh yeah, it's. I think it's kind of designed that way just so we don't get like everybody maxed out early on, or like Pacific Tunes maxed out so quickly. I like that there is quite a bit of variety so far, so that if I've only have I think up to stage 5 hard nodes unlocked, because I haven't really done too much of the actual unlocking. I've just been farming the ones over and over again. I feel like there's a big variety, so the characters you do want, you can go ahead and farm them fairly early on.
I still haven't really worked out who best hard node people to farm.
Robin Hood, I will say, none of his gear up to gear 7 required anything from stage 7. So as long as you beat stage 6 on normal, you can farm him completely to gear 7.
That's really good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the farming in general in the game? I have my problems with...
Everybody has problems with the gold so far.
Yeah, the gold is a slap in the face, especially since one of the guild things requires you to spend gold. That one's a little frustrating.
Right now I'm saving all my gold for that day, but I've got I think 300k gold at the moment, and that will get me maybe 3 tunes, an extra 2 levels. So
yeah, sometimes I need that. Sometimes I need that bump in a day to survive my arena for the day. So it's like I can't afford to just sit on it sometimes. I'm like, man, I don't want to lose my rank because of this.
We are definitely aware of this gold crunch, and we are looking into things to do about it.
Very good.
You can start by doubling up the gold you get for that, watching the ad, because that sucks when I get 500 or whatever. I'm like, bro.
250. That's the worst.
Yeah, 250. I'm like, that was 30 seconds of my life. It's only worth 250 gold. That's less than 1 gold a second, man. You know.
The watching the ad thing, can you continually do it all the time, or is it kind of random when it appears?
It shows up frequently, I think, but like I use it, and then I feel like 10 minutes later it shows up again. Something I haven't really like checked, but I feel like it's every 10-15 minutes or so it shows up. I could be wrong. It could be random.
So, how many hard battles are you guys farming each day?
Way too many.
Most of
I
them,
stopped
honestly,
from-
for me.
Yeah, I stopped farming Joan right now. I can take a look in a second, but there's so many hard, especially because they're we have 5 a day now instead of 3 for each node, which by the way I love. It is consuming a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But that is something I'm glad they added. Switched from 3 to 5 cap.
Well, I guess once we know exactly who are the best ones to farm and we can just farm a few, it'll be not be
Right.
such a big an issue. But right now, when you're trying to cover all of your different areas, because you're not quite
Especially
sure.
with the events too. Yeah, you definitely got to take that into account.
Yeah.
I had to go back and do a few randoms with my arena currency and stuff just so I could fill out my events.
Yeah, what I really did is I picked the beasts and now I try to farm them with Robin. I hope they're good, but this is what I do. I try to get the gear up now. I try to get shards for just that team, and if I have something over or I can't go, I try Galahad because I don't know if you need a healer or not. I'm pretty tight on where I put my energy at the moment.
Yeah, you seem to be a little more selective than me. I am farming 9. That's most of the energy in the day.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. I do something like that too. Playing
Yeah.
the long game, you know? I'm going to need that stuff later. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Those are my shards for life. They're not getting those shards back. I can't waste it on anything. So
You say that now, but
When you get like a 7-star, I don't know who, like Hawk one for example, and then you realize he's not very good, and you're like, I wish I had those shards back.
it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be like, 7-star cup action. Woohoo! It'd be fun.
Side note: does everybody get their butt kicked by Electo in the challenges? I feel like it's always Electo that completely destroys me.
She's an Avenger, isn't she?
Is that the
Yes.
lady in a dress with the red hat?
Electo's
No.
the Fury.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm not like. There's so many random people and names in this. I'm not like all.
Yeah,
I'm all surprised
she's got wings, and like
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's one of those. Whatever they call
Yeah.
those, the wing dudes.
Furies.
Oh, they're called. Okay, yeah, they were.
Yeah, I try to get Bigfoot out first. He hits hard.
Yeah, Bigfoot hits really hard. It seems.
Who the hell's Bigfoot?
Baba Nyaka, I can't remember his name. Banayaka.
Ah,
There you go.
Banki. It's the Yeti.
Yeah,
I don't know, guys. I'm all in on pirates right now.
and Bonnie is amazing.
Yeah, I was
Well-
just gonna say the misfortune looking pirate. She's a brat, man. She lights me up sometimes.
If you put her with Ching Shi on her special, she has like a percentage to call in a random pirate ally, which is usually going to be Anne
Oh.
Bonny. And then Anne Bonny also has a unique crow's nest, which calls in random ally assists.
Yeah, exactly. Crow's Nest tears me up in arena.
I'm all in on pirates. I love them.
And I might have been I can't remember whose Anne Bonny it was that I borrowed that helped me finish the tier 4 of the skill book challenge. It was one Anne Bonny I borrowed that had like 5,000 power. That I borrowed it and I somehow managed from not being able to complete the event to 3-starring the event.
Probably a good
Yeah. And Bonnie and Robin Hood just kept, because Robin Hood has a chance every time somebody attacks, or every time somebody uses a move, he has a chance to attack as well. So between the two of them, they just kept wrecking the opponents. And I have Xenia as well, and she does the same thing. So the 3 of them just lit it up.
Hey, can any of you guys confirm that the person you use as conduit to complete the node is who people get when they borrow from you?
No, it changes.
So it's totally random, right? I wasn't sure, but
Because I've been like swapping through looking for better allies, and I've seen like 2 different people from the same person suggested.
okay, good. I just
Yeah.
wanted to confirm that because I've sat and I've refreshed it 5-6 times in a row and got lucky, and I'm like, I don't know if it's the same guy every time.
I usually try to look for Genghis Khan or Anne Bonny first.
Yeah, Genghis Khan is really good. I don't know if we mentioned him yet, but he's really
Yes.
good.
Yes, right now I think him, Anne Bonny, and Robin Hood seem to be the 3 most useful characters, at least so far. We don't really know too much about the characters yet, so things could change. But those are the 3 I've seen to have the most use for
I
it.
like Lycross.
Let's let
He-
everybody. What if we just get everybody to go around and pitch like their guy, like one guy that you really like that you use that maybe people don't use?
Robin Hood.
I love Gilgamesh. He's really good for me.
Gilgamesh. Okay. I
Like-
literally just unlocked him, so
Don't
Yeah.
forget to say why. You know.
Well, he's got pretty good damage. I mean, I'm sure if I had maybe Robin Hood or someone, maybe they'd be my favorite. But from the characters I've got, Beowulf and Gilgamesh are definitely the highlights. I've got them both.
Beowulf's underrated. He hits pretty hard for a tank.
Yeah, he does. I've got him at infusion level 6. Or is that what you call
Yeah,
it?
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I just
infusion
got
level 6.
Gilgamesh at infusion level 6 as well, and he's hitting really hard now.
Damn, okay.
What? 4 or 5k on his special, I believe.
Yeah, I
Say,
just unlocked Gilgamesh with the attack daily event. The one that requires attackers.
another good thing about Gilgamesh I didn't say is the fact that he has a unique where he has a chance to reduce his cooldowns by 1.
Oh wow,
Which is
okay. I
really
did not know
nice.
that.
So it means that he's going to get his special quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
I did not know that about him.
I like Lycross. Lycross is so cool.
He's been the one guy I don't know why I picked him, but from Guild Store, whenever I see Lycross, he's the one I buy. I'm not sure why, but I just picked Lycross and I almost have him unlocked. I think I'm at 55 out of 80 shards right now.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so I haven't quite worked out how the uniques work. Is it every time someone like has a move?
From what Nick said, it sounded more like they had something that already triggered their uniques, but it's just not written down or something. I didn't quite understand what Nick meant.
I can clarify. So yeah, all of the uniques have different triggers. Some are on death, some are on ally getting attacked, some are on allies doing attacks or specials. They all have different triggers, but there is a visual bug right now where the text for what the trigger isn't showing. The team knows about it, and it's on the bug list.
That explains quite a lot then, because I've definitely sat puzzling, working out when these different uniques are getting triggered.
That will change.
Good to hear.
And just to throw mine in, I love using Tasmine. I think her stun is super powerful. When used right, her unique is to stun the targeted enemy. On top of it, I just love her visual design.
I didn't really use her yet. You said there's a magical event coming up. Can you tell us something more about it?
Sure, I can give a little bit. The next event, I'll give you the name. It's called Magic Against the Darkness, and if you can get the reference, bonus points for you. You can guess the element of the character you'll be unlocking with it. You'll need at least 3 magic element characters. It'll be 4 rounds. First round will unlock the character for you. Past that, will get you just higher star rarity for the character. I think it'll be fun. I've been working with our product team to help balance it because it was much too hard at first.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. I don't know the clue. So anybody else?
How many magic people will you need to do it? 5?
3. 3 is the minimum to start with. I will always advise taking more of them for these sorts of events. Star rating doesn't matter, so throw the kitchen sink at it if you can.
Okay, so star rating doesn't matter? Okay. I thought there was a 4-star minimum or something for the last.
Oh no,
tier
I'm
or
sorry.
whatever. Okay.
I mean star as in like 1-starring it because you lost people. That
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah, okay. Yeah, for sure.
Win's a win, throw the sink.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm trying to get 5, but I it'll be tough.
I've got. I
Should
think
we expect these characters to be like of a higher caliber?
I think that a lot of these are. I think they're good. Definitely. I think the one that we're unlocking is that you'll be unlocking is pretty solid. I know that that's been a challenge because you're going to be fighting against him, so it's been a challenge for me to make sure that you don't just get wrecked by him.
Is the character we're going to get like in the game but unattainable, or is he just not in the game yet at all?
In the game, unattainable actually is on the splash screen.
Ooh, more clues.
Let me take a look as I force quit and restart the game.
Is it the guy with the goat head? I don't know his name, or it might be a cow head.
What are you looking at?
The
Now
splash
I have
screen.
to start my. Yeah, now I have to start mine.
Hey, a good trick is open the game and then minimize it right when it gets to the screen, and then hit your home button twice if you're on iOS, and you can just scroll through your apps and you can look at the picture without it going away.
Or you can just screenshot it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that takes way more
if you-
time.
But yeah, if you're looking at the splash screen, any characters who are there who aren't in the game right now will be coming to the game.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I see. I think 2 in the 3 at least that aren't in the game. Maybe that looks like Medusa or something
Yeah.
like Medusa.
And then like a Hades or whatever looking dude with the goat thing on the top, right? He's not in the game.
Yep, and then
The guy on the right.
with looks like Zeus, kind of.
Yeah, some kind of like Frost Viking looking dude. Olaf or something, maybe.
Cool. Well, anyway, I'm sure we'll hear more about the Magic event in the future.
Oh yeah, that's already good enough. I'm gonna start pumping up my Magic guys right now. That's like
Yeah.
refocus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I finished Robin Hood, so I've been focusing on Zenyi now.
Baba Yaga, like I said, man, he's awesome.
She, Baba Yaga is a she.
Yeah, I wish I had Baba Yaga.
I thought it wasn't, gender bound, to be honest. But that's okay.
Why did you say he then?
Because it just like, because I was thinking of John Wick, honestly. I always call him a he because of John Wick. I think of John Wick every time. Most of the time, I call him John Wick.
That's fair, but the Baba Yaga that we have in here is from the Slavic legend Ivan and Koschei the Deathless, and that one is definitely a she.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
I mean, it was a crappy movie reference, but it was recent enough that I got a laugh out of it, and it stuck.
It was a good movie. It was
Definitely
a
not
good reference.
historically accurate by any means.
Okay, guys, what teams and factions have you been
I'm
Nice.
kind of
enjoying
working a
playing with currently?
rogue kind of team. It's not going to be full rogue, but I am thinking 3 rogues and then a tank and perhaps some kind of attacker for now. I am looking at Ho and Japanese guy Miyamoshi. I can't remember his name. I am looking at those
Miyamoto
3.
Musashi.
That guy Musashi.
Oh yeah, I have Musashi. He's awesome. That's
Yeah,
one of my
I'm
main
looking
guys.
at those 2 plus Robin Hood, and Kiru as my tank. He has nature as well as most of the rogues, and he calls assists, I believe. So that's why I'm looking at him.
Okay, nice. My 2 teams, I like to have the Beastie Boys, and the other one is the Ethereans. I like Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, and Galahad. Those are the 3 you can get, and I think all of them are really awesome.
No arguments there.
I didn't play Morgan, but if you look at her kit, it sounds really good. And
Somebody unlocked
Merlin-
Morgan recently, and she looked really good.
It was like a champ.
That too. Yep.
No, I must look if I can borrow. But I think that's a fraction with some magic in there because you need 2 more. You can make fine teams out of.
Yeah, they do give you
But-
two magic tunes to start with, but Zara and Galahad are both really good mages, healers. So yeah, if you want to use one of those with, I guess Galahad is already an Arthurian for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if you use healers.
I'm still using Zara for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. He does seem like the least useful person on my team for now.
I'm without healer at the moment. I just go.
Yeah, me too. No healer.
full. How do you like the 3 tanks thing? When you rotate out the tanks and heal them, because we didn't say that. If you switch somebody out into the conduit slot,
They
get,
heal.
They heal.
Yeah.
I like that. How much
Yep,
do they heal?
I actually prefer to do a DPS guy in that spot because they tend to have like a bigger heal, whatever bar you want to call it, like a progression bar. Because with the tanks, it takes like a lot of hits for them to get anything back. Whereas like some people, they just get hit once and then I swap them out. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much they heal. It seems to vary between tunes. Maybe that's something Nick can explain a little more, but
Sure. What happens is that half of all damage taken is flash damage. That's the gray on the bar, and as you so again, the reason why you'd see a DPS take one hit and he's ready to swap is because he has, well, not much for a health pool.
Right.
Whereas a tank would have a lot more. But yeah, that's basically the idea. Is they go, you send them in and they'll start healing. I can't say right this time what's causing perhaps the exact clip at which they heal while in the conduit slot, but
Okay.
definitely it's this idea of the flash damage that you'd see in one of our other games, Tekken Tag Tournament.
Okay. Yeah, I do also like the fact that they still reduce their cooldowns while they're in their conduit spot. So a great time to move somebody is after they use a special.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Somebody with a big special that I want to shoot right when it starts, and then hopefully they'll get blasted down to nothing, and then I can just switch them over. That's usually how I try to do it.
Yeah.
I used to switch out Zara. So when he healed, I put him in on the bench, and then I did all out attack. So
With Zara, you just said as soon as he heals, you put him on the bench, and that's just because he doesn't really have much use outside of the heal at the moment. And that's why I do kind of want to replace him at the moment. He is number one on my list to replace.
That's why I really like. I know I keep bringing him up, but Baba has a heal, and man, it's a game changer. It's really good.
Yeah.
And then now that you said that it's a bug that you can't see why, I'm pretty sure that it's when your team is struck. I'm pretty sure. So whenever your team is struck, you have a chance to heal your team.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed with some tunes like Zenyi, it's whenever an ally gets attacked, there's a chance you can counter. And Boa with Electa, for example, it's only when she gets attacked that she counters.
I think Musashi too is when anybody on the team gets hit as well.
Yeah, and we won't know the triggers for sure, but we are kind of starting to see as we use them enough times, we are starting to figure out when more or less they trigger, or what triggers them at least.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the strategy is still there, though. So I try to keep somebody taunting at all times, and I just let my two dudes get beat down. And yeah, I get a lot of counterattacks from Musashi, and I get a lot of heals from Baba Yaga. It's pretty great.
I remember Sidus at one point mentioned something about just using a team full of people who counter and assist, like Anne Bonnie, Prehasta, Zenyi, Musashi, bombard with counters every time you attack. And that could be pretty useful as well. I don't know. It's something to consider. Not really based on any faction, but just based on a style of attack.
I was thinking Musashi, Hattori Hanzo, and Masamune would be really good together, but it's too far away for me to try to check it out or whatever. I'll probably be down the road. But those three together look really good. They have a lot of utility, and it's all offensive utility, removing debuffs and removing buffs and attacking over again. I don't know. I think those three would be really good team together.
Who's the third one you said? Date Masamune?
Yeah, Masamune.
Take a look at him. I haven't actually looked at I unlocked him because I don't know why. I have him 1 star, but I've never actually looked at him, so that might be something to look at.
Moves debuffs.
Oh yeah, and removes buffs from enemies.
Yeah, so you have Musashi who kind of hits everybody and calls to assist, and you have him who removes debuffs and buffs. So he's just like a all across the board cleanse to spell guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that he's going to be really good towards the end of the game and stuff.
That might be something to look at, actually. Yeah.
That's my number one guy. Down the road, I'm like, this guy's gonna be good eventually. Right now, it's kind of.
And then
early
if you throw in Robin Hood with those three because he is a rogue. Same with Miyamoto and Hanzo. Yeah.
I don't know if Genghis Khan was a rogue, but I was considering him too. He's really awesome.
I mean, most of us come from Swagaga, and are you doing something like creatures versus champions, or is it just one?
Ooh, that'd
tag?
be really cool.
You mean like Galactic Struggle? Is that your question?
Yeah, I mean like TV.
Light side versus dark side.
Yeah, creatures versus champions. I don't know. It's in the game, so are there any plans?
That is a fantastic question that I don't really have an answer to. It's all very TBD right now. We're trying to figure out. We've got a ton of fantastic ideas for things that we can add to the game feature-wise, and it's all just trying to figure out, what would be best. I mean, obviously, do all the things would be best, but given what the game needs in the moment most, in terms of what kind of experience it needs added. Also, what we can do most easily with the resources we have available. That's going to be the big question: is kind of what can we do with what we have available to us, and what does the game need us to make first? Is going to kind of really determine where we go from there. That said, obviously, as you saw, the Cersei event, our first event, required creatures and not champions. This next event is going to require magic. So definitely, we're going to try to make use of these, just for the viewers at home who don't kind of know how our tag system works. We've got 4 different categories of tags. The first one is role, which would be like attacker, tank, support, healer. The next would be the element, which is nature, war, magic, or umbra. The next one is humanity, basically champion or creature. And the last one is synergy group, which would be where we're talking about rogues, pirates, Arthurians, beasts, the Dauntless, the Avengers, pirates. Oh, love the pirates. But this is kind of where it is, and at least for now, I can say that our events will make good use of the tag system because it's really fun. And for as far as features are concerned, we're still figuring that out. Again, still early in soft launch. That said, we are still very much listening to our community when it comes to feedback. So, speak up.
Hint, hint.
Okay, well, if you're listening, you heard it here first. King Arthur.
Yes.
So that when we all have our round table meetings, we could joke about our King Arthur.
Not to mention, who's a better champion than King Arthur?
Okay, guys, duly noted.
You heard it here first.
I wanted to ask a question. So in the future, I imagine there'll be raids or some type of end game content stuff. Should we expect that to include like mythological, enemies, like most of the champions and things in the game, like a Cerberus or whatever it might be? Should we expect that to be the type of stuff we see in the future?
That sounds really cool if that's the path we go.
I think we kind of talked about this, like a suggestion kind of thing where I can't remember what somebody mentioned. And then I mentioned like a Hydra enemy or something like that.
I remember that, Chad. I believe the ones you guys mentioned were the Hydra, which would be cool. Or I think the other one people were saying was Cthulhu.
Yeah, Cthulhu, that's who it was.
There you go. That's cool.
Well, I'm glad we're actually able to speak to a community manager so they can actually hear our suggestions. So we actually appreciate all of your help so far.
Yeah, and you've always been really on the spot too on Discord whenever we like post anything. Every time I ever have you posted on it real quick, I always appreciate that.
Yeah, I need to have a life or something.
See, but this is your life. This is your job. Your job is to talk about
It's our life, so
you've definitely done something right so far.
So, guys, we've spoken a bit
Few
about
months.
launch. We've
Few months.
away.
It's
And
a ballpark so far.
we do already have a great space on our Discord server where you guys have all been sharing your thoughts on what could come to the game in the future. However, we've not really spoken much about that in this podcast. So, what kind of game modes or features would you guys like
Dance
to
off,
see coming
me
to
and
the
you.
game in the future?
I got my money on Nick.
And I do want to ask one question. Should we expect characters to be released on like a character-to-character basic? Or is it going to be more like faction pass kind of related? Like a few creatures or a few whoever together?
That's a fantastic question. I think, we don't have any plans for big faction passes right now, but I know we've already got a handful of characters that are already in some level of done that we're holding on to so that we can have a decent clip of releasing characters. And I think that one of our goals right now is that what we've been talking about is filling out the holes, so to speak, in characters. So, for example, there's a full team of undead right now, but there's not a full team of a lot of the synergy groups. And while magic has a ton of healers, what about war? What about Umbra?
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now we want to release cool characters and fill the holes so that you can have, full workings for whatever you want to make.
We shouldn't be afraid then if we're working on one of those factions that's short a man, because we should be thinking like, oh, they're going to drop a guy and I'll be able to fill it out soon.
Eventually.
I wouldn't say soon. I'd say eventually. I'd say definitely. And I think there's also an important thing is that, in addition to the characters to fill out roles, it's also about storytelling. We love telling these stories from history, from mythology. Sometimes either you guys will have something that, like, oh my God, could you please add so-and-so? And we'll, act like it's all our idea and then we'll do it.
I really liked one chapter was really cool. I think was Heart 6. Brilliant. I read through all these little dialogues, and I don't know. It was the guy with the two swords who was telling it. It was brilliant. The
I'm
chapter.
not that far, so I don't know.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, jeez.
Sorry.
One question to add on to what you had just said. You have an idea of a whole bunch of characters to release. How are you releasing them into the game? Do you have any idea yet? Minus, like, I know legendaries like Cersei and the magic character that is being released and stuff like that.
Oh, those aren't the legendaries. Those are the normal
Okay.
characters. We're using a lot of the characters. We're going to do it all through different ways. Right now, the first few that we're introducing are through these sort of intro events, which would be like Cersei's Call or, Magic Against the Darkness. And so
Okay.
this idea that, you get the character in your hands, you get a chance to try it out, kind of have some fun with it. And of course, from there, we have a whole cadence schedule planned out. All characters who we will eventually go farmable. Obviously, there's never going to be a character that lives behind a paywall forever. That's something that we are pretty committed to, is keeping this sort of game accessible for everyone so that everybody can enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear.
Definitely good to hear.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no 2-year farms. You heard it here first. No 2-year farms. If you personally take 2 years because you're dawdling, that's on you.
Totally agreed. But as long as it doesn't take a minimum 2 years to farm.
Yeah, first wait 3 months and then farm 2 years. A little bit too much. So,
Nick, I have a question for you before we let you go. And it is, so you've played Galaxy of Heroes, you're not maybe the most intense, but you kind of have like a general idea of how the game works. And you can feel free to answer this if you want, but how do you feel like this game is going to be better, and what makes, like, obviously it's a mythology, it's got a different type of like setting, it feels different when you play it, but what are your thoughts like in comparison to the two? Is this game in the long run just going to totally blow Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes out of the water?
Well, they have a couple years on us and a big IP. I'm personally myself a big Star Wars nerd. I think we discussed right before the podcast. I am a huge Star Wars nerd, so
I think we all are, so.
Yeah, we all are.
yeah, but I'm not trying to measure our game success in relation to another game on the thing. We can continue to provide for them a fantastic gameplay experience, and through it all that we're able to keep the lights on. I'm happy.
Good deal.
That last one's kind of important, though.
Right. Put in King Arthur. I'm sure you could get a Kumo to keep your lights on.
Put in anything.
Yeah, Akumo will keep all the lights on, I promise.
Duly noted.
Nick's like, okay, listen to everything Akuma said.
yeah, I think he kept the light on in EA for some days.
Just look at his roster.
Yeah.
I just want to say I really like the game. I really do. I like the setting. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. I would like to, on that note, say something as well. Obviously, we're still very early into our soft launch. I've been in clear communication with the team every day about what's going on with the game and the community. And every day you guys find some new way to stun the team. When I told them that there was going to be a podcast and we're not even out yet, and that I had been asked to attend, they were blown away. Simply the passion and dedication of this community for a game that's not even done yet is just mind-boggling. And I can say for the entire team that we are so grateful for every one of our players right now.
I wanted to say one more thing, and this is something I actually said yesterday to somebody else, but I'm going to say it right now. Because there are a lot of games that are very similar to this coming out lately. I don't know what you call the genre specifically, but they have a DC one, there's a Star Wars one, there's this one, and now they also have Marvel Strike Force going on. And out of all these, they're very similar in the type of game that they are. But the one thing about this game that I would say is it's like the most player type game, if I had to say. Like, it's not a skinned game, if that makes sense. Like, if you're playing Marvel, it's very skinned. If you're playing DC, it's very skinned. Where this is more like the focus is entirely on the player and the game. Does that make sense? Whereas there's no theme to it that makes the game. Like, you make the game by playing it, if that makes sense. and that's why I like this game, especially among the 4 or whatever right now.
I didn't really understand what he said, but I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, was I unclear? Can you hear me now? My bad.
No, I got it. I was kidding. I get what you mean, and I agree.
I really enjoy this game. It's it's similar to other games I've played like this in the past, but yet it somehow still brings something new and interesting, and it's exciting every day, which I think is very important. Okay,
Being
well,
able to battle all you guys is really nice perk too. Gotta say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. We're all
Being able to battle against your friends or the people you know in arena is like none of the other games I've been able to do that. So I mean that's a big change for me. I go in and I punch Sith like every day, or Kevs.
Yeah.
well,
I think
Kev's
that shit's hilarious. Like
I go in and I see Furious has punched me out of the top, and then I go and hit him, and then 10 minutes later he's got me back, and I'm like, what the hell?
yeah, I mean that really
I
makes
like-
it a lot more fun. And rivalry wise, it's a lot of fun too.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the notification. You have been defeated. Damn.
Oh no, I
Oh
haven't.
yeah. Whatever you do, don't remove that. That's my favorite thing.
Can
Okay,
we make it?
that-
Can we make it say
it'll stay.
goodbye?
I mean, maybe that might be some extra tech, but I could definitely pass that along to the team. I don't know if he. I was gonna say, yeah, I totally understand the rivalries. I don't know if he knows it's me, but McMole and I have been beating the crap out of each other for like a week or 2 now.
Good. I love McMull, man. That's funny. I have a question again. Sorry, just one more. Furious, I think, was talking about the battle, like, saying who you beat and whatnot. And that would be really cool if I could send you a notification whenever you got beaten.
It does. At least
it does?
I get notifications. I don't know about every time, but I do get notifications sometimes. It says I got beaten and my arena spot has changed.
Oh, I haven't. My for some reason I put on notifications, but didn't do that.
Well, one thing I found with the notification is that it'll just tell me when my team's been defeated. So sometimes I rush on and I'm actually still in the middle because someone just swapped me around. So if there'd be somewhere where we could have one notification that tells us we've been pushed back and one that just tells us someone defeated us.
Oh yeah, that would be good. So you actually dropped a node and not just lost a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do swap all the time in the 3 spots. That's how I get my 3 daily battles usually.
Yeah, or on the day with the arena guild thing, I do a lot of battles that day that I don't need to do, so I just spend it swapping back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. Usually hitting
That's a
Furious.
solid idea, guys.
I need to go. We have another meeting on another channel. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.
See you, Chip.
Okay, so before we finish up here, I'd like to quickly talk about our community server, which we've been trying to get going. It's still pretty quiet at the moment, but the idea is we can have a place where everyone who plays the game can come together and chat and interact, and we can get to know each other. And there's a few recruitment channels in there. There's places
I
to
saw
find.
Warrior was in there.
Yeah, we've got Warrior in there. We've got a few guys from Sanctuary in there as well. So it's a cool place. So make sure you all check it out, and anyone listening to this as well, feel free to check it out. I'll put a description in there. And then also, we're all from, well, except from Nick, we're all from the Sigma Legends group of guilds. So we've currently got 2 guilds, and we'll add another when we get full. So if you would like to join one of our guilds, please check the description for our Discord link, and we'll onboard you from there. That's all we've got for today. Thank you very much, Nick, for coming today. You're welcome for the next one as well, if you'd like to.
I
And
might just. Thank you so much for having me.
it's been great. Yeah, thank you everyone else as well.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so until next time, everyone, goodbye.
Peace out.